Okay, back after a long hiatus, or I don't know if you call it that, but this is Reno P, and I'm back with Vancouver Subculture Living. I'm here at the in-BBhouse, newly established as of 2019, the end of it, I guess. Here with the Kyros, also known as Light.
That's me.
There's Steve, also known as Jive Turkey. Can't remember how do you say your last name, Steve?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I think I forgot to pick it up. And here with Nekusonozaki's own Sebastian, Mr. Sebastian English, Vancouver School Boards. Yep, and yeah, we're just gonna head up. I guess Light's in front of me, so I can ask him the good stuff.
Sick.
Okay, so as usual, I usually like to start where when you were away, we always call it. Well, I mean, me and a couple of people called you the Island Man. Because you lived in Nanaimo, right? Which is on Vancouver Island, right? Have you always lived there, or did you move from somewhere? Or
I've lived on Vancouver Island for most of my life, but not entirely, not always in Nanaimo.
Okay, but but you've lived on the Vancouver Island.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Victoria.
Mm-hmm. And you've most recently come to Vancouver, the mainland, as of last year, right?
Yeah, just last year. I guess it was last September. Yeah, September 2018.
Yep, and I guess we can start from there. So, is there anything that you've noticed that's been really, I guess, from then and now, from when you were younger, has anything changed in terms of the people, landscape, I don't know, attitudes towards things? For example, do you remember Zellers?
I do remember Zellers.
Do you remember how Zellers used to have diners in them?
Yeah, actually.
Isn't that crazy? See,
the Zellers that was in Victoria when I grew up had a diner. Yeah.
See, there you go, right? Really so stuff like that. Was there anything else like that you remember that's significant?
The biggest things I noticed that are different from when I was young is probably just the evolution of technology, how much more commonplace it is. All kinds of technologies, whether it's just cell phones or the commodity of laptops and PCs or even just iPods and stuff. When I was really young, that stuff was barely taking off.
Yeah.
You didn't see very much of it.
You see some 10-year-old walking around with a cell phone?
Yeah.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was 21. What the fuck?
Right?
Yeah, it's big. The technological digital age now is where it's at, right?
Well, it's insane how fast it blew up as well. The evolution itself was so rapid. It was in the last 100 years, we've taken something so simple as basic electricity and turned it into something like a supercomputer.
Exactly.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So there's a huge shift towards this digital whatever paraphernalia, right?
Yeah.
But I guess even from your growing up, did you considering who you are now?
Yeah.
The Kyros, the Lord Kyros. Did you play a lot of video games when you were younger? Was that your thing?
Oh yeah.
Was that your into?
Yeah.
I know you played classic Fire Emblem.
Yeah. I was more interested in other genres rather than fighting games as
course.
Kyros.
Kyro 01, yeah.
But yeah, I've always been into video games.
What, I don't know,
the first video game I played was Pokemon Red.
Yeah. Good times.
My older brother was always playing video games as well. He's 6 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd always be watching him play as I grew up and got interested in them that way.
Did you guys have similar tastes when it came to video games?
Yeah.
I guess RPGs or
yeah, mostly RPGs, some platformers back in the day.
Like Mario?
Yeah, Mario, Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, the good old Nintendo stuff, right?
That kind of stuff, yeah.
Not much of a Sega guy?
No, mostly Nintendo.
Yeah.
Young Nintendo family growing up.
I don't know how you came across stuff like Tactics Ogre though. That's
Yeah. Well, there was an Ogre Battle game on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, Ogre Battle 64.
That's right. Yeah.
Also, you also played N64.
Yeah. It was Super Nintendo was mostly just my brother. I was still very young.
Yeah.
We had that, and then 64. I started playing a lot more video games. Eventually GameCube and Wii.
So mainly went on the Nintendo branch. Like,
Yeah.
didn't explore too much PlayStation
States.
stuff.
No, not until didn't branch off until like the Xbox 360
Oh,
and the PlayStation 3.
that was like a 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, already really long time.
Was it
ago.
15? It's been a while, but okay. And you played different genres, mainly RPG or.
Mainly RPG.
Yeah.
I always liked RPGs the most.
But you also had I guess it kind of shows off in your style and how you play games now. But you have some stints in Magic Gathering.
Yeah, I'd actually played a lot of trading card games growing up as well.
Like in high school days or middle school or.
A little bit before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon when they were coming out, and a couple other like smaller games randomly. There was a few local game stores that I'd hit up. And
Oh yeah, in
they're
Nanaimo?
always in Victoria,
Okay,
and then later in Nanaimo.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd always be like new games people were trying out. And
Yeah.
some of them stuck around for longer.
It's that renaissance of like card gaming, right? The
Yeah,
whole bunch
it's
of
like-
little things here and there.
Played like the Inuyasha card game for a while.
I didn't even know they had one of those.
They had and some other like individual card games not attached to any franchise.
Right.
Like Warlord. I don't know if you ever
Warlord,
heard of
it's been a while. Collectible card game?
that. Yeah, collectible card game.
Okay, I figured, yeah. Nope, can't say it made. I don't know, maybe the mainland was different. Maybe you were like behind our head.
Who knows?
I don't know who.
There's countless card games.
And then you kind of moved. Well, I mean, I guess we can zoom forward to where we are now. Is you? So Blaze Blue Central Fiction came out 2009, 10.
2000.
Come on, people.
Central Fiction.
Yeah, no, sorry, not Central Fiction.
What, Chrono Fantasy?
Nope.
No?
Calamity
Calamity
Trigger,
Trigger.
CT.
Oh.
2000, 2009?
I think that's
2000
10, 11 years though. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
2000, 2009.
Yeah.
And in arcades even longer, eh? Remember when
Yeah.
Blaze Blue had like 8 characters, I think?
Oh jeez.
CT?
Yeah.
I think
Right.
like 10 or something.
But was that your first experience with Blaze Blue or fighting games? Or like,
No,
what was your
no.
first experience with fighting
Like
games?
fighting games?
Let's go with that.
Well, I don't know if you count Smash, but
I mean, it's
would be
a
Smash.
thing. I don't know, you know. Okay, sure, Smash.
It would be Smash, yeah.
Is that kind of like your gateway?
On the 64 as well.
Well, nice, Steve, with
Of course.
the delicate.
That's actually like a fair gateway though. Like Smash is a good way to like.
Yeah.
If you're a young kid, you like break it in. Oh, I'm playing Pikachu. I'm messing up Mario."
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
You're really young. You see a bunch of characters you recognize. You know,
Yeah.
Link, Mario, Pikachu.
It's iconic, right?
They're not Ness because nobody's doing Ness.
whoa, yo. We don't talk about NES players here, not in in-BBhouse.
Oh, no.
But it was like your first, like I guess. I guess.
well,
Okay,
I
hey,
guess it
we'll
gets
take a
you.
break here. Just pause. All right, sorry about that. Tim Zard just walked in. Bryce.
Hello.
Yeah, we were talking about Smash actually, which is funny because I heard you were a Smash player, right? Or you
Nice.
used to be.
I started as a melee player. Yeah.
Oh, so is Melee different from Smash? I'm just kidding, not trying to
my
delineate.
God.
But
I played Roy.
yeah. So
No rewards, all
you
punishment.
you started from so you started from Smash. Where'd you move from there? Because like in Calamity Trigger, there was no Hazama. I mean, he was in the story, but he wasn't a character.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know about Blaze Blue till far later.
Well, what got you into that? Is it a long story?
No, it's not a long story, but
Oh,
my first experience with Blaze Blue was watching the anime actually.
really?
Yeah.
Because that was pretty far into CS, I think.
Yeah, that was late CS,
It's also
just
a
before
questionable
CP came out.
quality.
No, I don't know.
Some people's opinion.
Anime is very interesting.
And you're like, who's this guy?
I was like,
This
wow,
villain?
there's this really cool character in Blaze Blue Ultimate Memory.
And then that was your exposure. So then that would get you to the video game, I guess?
Yeah. I knew a friend of mine who had played the video games, and
Was it on Xbox or 360? Or would you...
I think CS was on 360,
Is that what you first played it on?
but
Or would you-
I started with Chrono Phantasma when it came out.
Oh, so CP? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess you were... Yeah, I guess... Yeah, you must have been pretty young because I was pretty old. So, that would make sense because then Spacecraft happened. And I was like, who's this guy
Yeah.
giving Rob a run for his money playing Hazama? It was a very intense set. I remember missed
Poor-
supers,
poor
missed
Rob,
punishes. I was like, wow, this is like intense. Holy moly.
to this day.
that one
Rob
moment.
fears that set.
Yeah, but it was and then, you can't help but playing. But so like being on the island, how did you find? I guess did you find people to play with, or you hit the streets, right?
I just played online. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all net play, right?
The only person I knew offline that played in Nanaimo was just the person who taught me the game.
But then you had to hone your skills like on the
Yeah.
streets, and I don't know what Nanaimo internet was like, but
It's it's fine, I guess.
it was sufficient.
I don't think it's too different from most of Vancouver.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's if you can get this far doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, I clearly learned enough.
Yeah, and you stuck with the character through like thick and thin, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how Hazama was through CF.
He was
Snicker from Steve.
fairly weak in CF1. It was like his weakest version,
But it was still enough for you
but
to
it was still fine. Yeah.
Okay, like you still I still like this character.
Yeah.
So the strain when you track it.
So what was it about like the character? It's just like he's just cool. He just jived
Yeah,
well.
I-
He's
I-
like played well. He's fun.
I think he's really cool. He looked really fun to play. He is fun to play.
When I see you play him, he's like, "Oh, how does he make Hazama look so fast?"
Yeah, it's great. I thought that there was like so much potential to the character that I could almost never run out of things to learn and things to improve. And I still don't even really feel that way now. That I'm playing up to this maximum potential or anything like that.
Yeah, I just remember first time I came to in-BBhouse, I was just watching you practice with Hazama. Like still, like there's still always
Yeah.
things to improve on, right?
Yeah,
It's just like I guess it's this. I don't know if the game kind of lends itself to that kind of depth of exploration.
Yeah, there definitely is a ton of depth just within the game with any character, even the most basic character has
Yeah.
a lot of things you can.
And who is the most basic character in Blaze Blue?
It's probably just Ragna.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it from here, folks. It's
Probably.
it's a Ragna according to Light.
There's a few other basic characters, but they always kind of have weird gimmicks along with their simplicity.
That's the game,
Like
though, right?
characters like Celica or like Mai are pretty basic, but they have some weird things as well. So
Yep. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Like they're basic characters, but the depth there, like the skill ceiling, is still like there because of what
Yeah.
the game is, of the nature, right?
absolutely,
So
I watched.
yeah, you've kept playing Hazama for like
it's been like a bit over 5 years now, I think.
half a decade of like playing the same character, but still learning, improving, beating people up.
It's kind of weird when I think about how long I've been playing like the same game, quote unquote.
But it's always a different experience, right?
Right?
What? Playing the same character? No? The same tactics? I don't know. Not putting you on the spot, but I don't know. I'm not sure if you've gotten better at all, Sebastian, but I'm not sure.
So a lot better from the beginning. In the beginning, like everybody starts somewhere, right?
No.
No.
Have you met Sam?
Oh yes.
Did Sam start godlike and stay godlike?
My first,
He's an anomaly.
the first fighting game that I ever took seriously was Blaze Blue. and
I thought it was
that
Marvel.
That was very good. And then it just kind of grew from there to like playing things here and there, but it always stayed main with Blaze Blue because I I'll say it. I love the story.
Okay.
It's a very strange, convoluted mess, but you know what? It has the characters that I like.
I too enjoy it.
And
Not
it
gonna lie.
has the character that I love, Ragna. And he's a really, really cool character, and I think that all of them are actually really cool characters when you give them a chance. You just like
I think so. Like
you
the way they
you go
interact,
through
I think
their
it's pretty good.
stories in CT. CT actually had a good story. Like it actually it's a lot better than what's being pumped out a little bit right now. A little bit more structurally sound than like.
Well, it's over
a lot
now,
of
right?
stuff.
There's no more.
Well, yeah.
CF is
But
finished.
it had a good. I will say, Blaze Blue had a good beginning that could have like calmed down a little bit, but it just went like into the jet engines.
Could have calmed down a little bit.
But that's what you're into,
Decided
Light.
not
Like
to.
you're into kind of train wrecks of stories and messes.
They can be entertaining.
Oh no, that's a whole different topic for a different story. I
A
think.
train wreck of a story that you could focus on actually is just a shout out to Disgaea. Disgaea is a silly mess of a story, but it works with how its characters interact with its world and its villains.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, I mean, again,
it's also not a story-driven show.
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yeah.
it depends really, but
Yo, this guy has an anime too.
it does.
It's a fun anime. It's a fun
I
anime.
definitely watch that.
So like, considering like Hazama, it's just like a style of character is cool. The way he plays, like, you find him fun. You find him fun to play.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, it's always something I always ask people, like, what exactly determines what character you might play in a video game, in a fighting game? Like, what is it?
Oh, okay.
What is the je ne sais quoi?
So, like, it took me quite a long time to actually figure out what kind of characters I liked.
I think we all know what
I've-
you like now.
I've dabbled in like several fighting games semi-seriously by now, and when I was first picking characters, I really just pick who I think is cool.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But over time, I like kind of discovered characters that I liked, traits that all the characters I end up picking have, and
Now, is it character traits or like
couple
gameplay
things.
traits or a little bit of both?
a little bit of both. So nowadays, when I play a new fighting game and I like look at the cast and try and decide who to play, there's like a few things that I'm looking for in particular. So one like it has to be a character that I think is aesthetically like cool,
Okay, of course. Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
So I'll usually narrow down the cast a bit by that
Mm-hmm.
first, and then I like characters that have either like fast or varied movement, and or characters that like can control space a lot or effectively or well.
So not necessarily a zoner, but like a good tools for.
Yeah, not
Space
necessarily zoning, but just someone that controls a lot of space. Because like in Under Night, I play Carmine,
Yeah.
and his movement is like not very good. But he does control space a lot. He's got a good fireball. And once the fireball's out, he has like all his specials control a good portion of space.
He also looks cool, right?
And yeah, of course he looks cool.
He looks sick.
I was about to
He's
say,
an edgy dude.
You left out your most important.
I said aesthetic was first. first
Very
and foremost.
Very specific. Very specific.
Yeah, I mean, if they're cool, they're cool. Like,
Like,
so I shouldn't have to explain myself.
Like, your tastes are yours, right? But he also like he just like briefly like pulled a fast one, like, oh, they have cheap stuff, right?
Well, if they have
Do
cheap
they have
stuff,
to be
that's,
cheap?
that's cool. But no, they don't have to be cheap.
Oh, good, because some people would always go like, oh, what's the cheap stuff, right? Not gonna
Yeah.
name any names.
I mean, cheap stuff's cool. I don't want to play a character that's boring.
Yeah.
Okay, so characters can be cheap and boring,
Cheap is just
Yeah, they can be.
like overly set played, maybe.
Raven.
Whoa.
Yeah. Actually, Raven's a good example because like, Raven's like a pretty cool aesthetic,
Yeah.
and he's like strong,
Mm-hmm.
and he controls space well. Has pretty good movement. But I couldn't stand playing him in Guilty Gear
Knockdown
he just
buzzsaw.
he felt really boring. Like
Yeah.
his gameplay was just the same thing. It's just like you get a knockdown, throw out your projectile Oki, and then you do like air dash mix up,
It'd be a rinse and a
and
repeat.
you literally just do that until you win.
Yep. No, I completely. I saw firsthand. Like, I think it was Dogra. I was watching him do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Is this how you win Guilty Gear?
Ogre, I think Kazunoko played him too.
Yeah, must have been Kazunoko. Yeah, the cheap stuff, right? So like, yeah. So good tools, aesthetically cool. That makes sense. But like, would you ever compromise on one of those two? Like, let's say if we had to pick between aesthetics and gameplay, would you ever compromise on one of them for the sake of the other?
Yeah, I think aesthetics is my first priority. But it's kind of a combination of all three, like aesthetic, just overall character strength, and like gameplay style.
Yeah, because like if it's not fun, why would you do it, right? Well, I think that's a different.
Well, you have to
Debate.
like,
It has to be,
the
like-
look and the feel of what you're doing.
Yeah,
So if aesthetics are not there, that's actually a big hit for me too.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
all,
that
all
makes
three
sense.
of those stats have to be high enough. for me
Right.
to actually
Like
wanna-
you play
wanna the character.
So in
Yeah.
Kohime,
I played
right?
So. Well, I dropped her now.
Oh, did you?
I played her
Oh.
for quite a while.
There you go. What do you play now?
I play Shutai now.
Yeah, Shutai. Nice. Good set play.
Shutai's like my second favorite character aesthetically.
I bet you would. Okay, yeah. So, cause like I mean, the way character looks like it, sometimes it'll never pan out, right? Like,
Yeah.
I always dive into it like, oh, this character looks so cool, I'm gonna play them, and it just feels like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Like, I love Beerus. It's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
But, oh God, he's not good.
Yeah.
right, Bryce.
Beerus is not.
Yeah.
How's that character always been bad? Like, what the hell?
Because you can just super dash through.
His
everything.
main tool, right?
Like,
What a
all
game. What?
Yeah.
the only
So
reason you play him, you can
there's like a balance of like what you now like when you play.
Playing out of character love.
It's like kind of a philosophical like, well, not like
Yeah,
why
it's
do you
like,
play, but like
Person who would play out of character like that.
I mean, first of all, I guess I imagine you play to win. Like that's what any fighting game player would aspire towards. I imagine.
Just like
Pretty
that's
much.
the only reason I play.
I guess-
I didn't even bother with the orbs or anything. I just happened there as like a.
Kinda. It's.
No, fighting games are fun. Don't get me wrong.
It's a little bit more difficult to explain than strictly playing to win.
Mhm.
But I mean, most of the time, my goal is to play to improve.
Mm.
Though often, playing to improve and playing to win, kind of like overlaps.
Coincides.
So it's yeah. Other than sometimes, it feels more like I'm playing to win than playing to improve. But
Then you mean like shoot
my,
die? No,
my,
I'm
my
just
over
kidding.
well, yeah, I mean, sure, like I switched off So-So because she was pretty bad.
But you got so
Just
far at
straight
like
up.
Evo.
His
Yeah.
results were so.
But I knew that even though my results were pretty good at some tournaments, it was not
This is the first time.
particularly because I was good.
Mm.
And eventually, I came to realize that playing So-So was not doing me any favors for improving as a Koihime player or a fighting game player in general.
To your satisfaction,
So-
right?
There was not enough reason for me to play her anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because like if I think about the way like John plays, he hasn't said this to me, but like another friend of mine who knows him too, like says like John would play to win, but he would not play to beat people, right? Kind of plays for his own
Yeah.
enjoyment.
That's actually very. I remember when I was playing Persona with Johnny a lot, and I could never understand that. And it's like it finally clicked with me one day how he like played.
Yeah, like
I
he
was like, why is he like so good, but he just doesn't like
go
care
for
that
it.
much?
Yeah, he's playing it for his own enjoyment, right? And for you, it's like you want to be able to play the best of your ability
Yeah.
given the situation, right? And that makes sense to strive for the best that you can be, right? Tournament player, you've been around, right?
Yeah.
Traveled to. Well, I mean, when you were living on the island, you had to come to the mainland to like play
Yeah,
at like
it's-
Kenny's tournaments, right?
Yeah.
How's that? Like, what was the first time you've done that? Like,
The first time I came to VSB? Or just the Vancouver? For
yeah, the
tournament
Vancouver
general?
for like for a tournament. Was it spacecraft? or-
So no, it was Burnaby VSB. The very first time I came over was actually just like once randomly for Wednesday Weekly.
Were they Wednesday weeklies?
Yeah, the anime weeklies back then were
Oh,
on
yeah.
Wednesday
It's been a while.
at the Burnaby location. And like I just came over there for a couple hours and left before the actual tournament.
Oh.
But I just wanted to check out VSB because some of the people I had met online through NetPlay had told me that, you know, like, oh, there's Blaze Blue locals in Vancouver. So
But like it's like on the main Vancouver Island, right?
yeah, so I
Was one of those people Steve?
no. The person that first told me about VSB is someone that isn't really around in the scene anymore. It was a fellow called Dominic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don played Arakune.
Yeah, he played
Tsubaki.
Arakune and Easy Eye.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in ages. Yeah.
Yeah.
E-spot days.
He's the first guy who told me about the scene. I
Really?
used to net play him a bunch, yeah. And he was like, "Hey, your connection's good. Like, where you from?" I told him I was from Vancouver Island. He told me about VSB. And then yeah, I eventually made it over a couple times.
Kind of like
my first experience at VSB was pretty funny because like I came pretty early in the afternoon.
Okay.
Because I was planning to just go back in the evening.
Mm.
And so like nobody was there. It was just like Samson because he was running.
Tending the.
He was running the VSB place at that time, and so like I just played some games with Samson.
Oh, with Sam.
Yeah,
The first
with
customer and the first.
Yeah.
The first person attendee was Sam.
So yeah, I played Blazely with Sam, and I was like, wow, this guy's really good. I was like, damn. I was so surprised. I was like, wow, is everyone this good?
No.
Over Vancouver?
Short story, no.
No, not really. But
Kind of
it
an
was-
anomaly. That's kind of funny. That
It
was
a great introduction.
I didn't know that was your first experience. Well, with
Yeah.
Vancouver, like, oh no, are all Vancouverites this
Yeah,
like?
it was literally just I went over on a Wednesday afternoon and nobody was around except Sam. I played a bunch of Blaze with Castles.
Who's he playing at the time? Who did he play against
He's
you?
playing Mu-12.
Mu 12?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's. And have you ever played Mu 12 or someone like that before?
I mean, I played online before.
Mm.
I had so much online experience. I played most of the cast already by then.
That's so weird. People played Mu 12 back then. No.
Yeah,
Nothing against Mu 12.
She was good. Well, she like came out in CS, and I assume she was popular when she came out. But
Probably.
over time, I think she just kind of like dwindled in popularity. Other characters came out, other characters got stronger or weaker, and for some reason she's kind of popular now.
Yeah, exactly. Only a handful. But like, was that around the same time? Like, so this, with a CF, was that like when you got really invested into the game, or?
No, I was pretty invested from when I first got in CP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played it a ton. I never really stopped playing it.
Yeah, no, we're
It's
still,
like,
here
yeah.
today. It's like still looking up things, like watching match videos, improving, and it's like really.
Religiously.
Well, I mean, it's like what you
Yeah.
do, right? It's like you do what you gotta do to better yourself, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
And things happen, but yeah, and it's always a good, I guess. Yeah, no, because I don't feel like the way you play is just, I don't know, indescribable. We've only played like 5 times, even though like you live here, but like
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, it's just very disciplined. That's all I can say. Compared to some people, not naming any names or looking at any people right now, but yeah, I don't know what else to say on that part, but so you kept on coming to the mainland and like visiting and just like I guess you just kept beating people up, like.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I get beat up
Kind.
sometimes.
I don't know. Every time I thought like, oh, Light's coming. Okay, he must be like taking first place in the tournament or something, right?
I mean, that was the goal.
And then I guess I was away for a year, so I don't know what happened, but the Richmond VSB opened, right?
Yeah.
And you hadn't moved here yet.
No,
right?
it opened before I moved.
Yeah, okay. And you would also attend, I think, the anime convention that came here?
Yeah,
Right.
Anime Revolution.
Yeah, and then I guess if they had a games room, which they sometimes did, right? It was Jackson,
Yeah,
right?
they usually did.
Yeah. Remember that one year that you went there? I don't know if you beat everyone up. It was probably the case though, but that's where you met Jared, I think.
Yeah, actually, that was fun. So that was.
Did you beat him up?
Oh, of course.
Trial by
That
fire,
was,
right? He's also a Smash player too, huh?
Yeah, Jared started off with Smash as well.
Mm-hmm.
When was that? That would have been
2017.
17, 18.
Because we have the 2018 champion right here, Steve.
Oh, shut up.
And we also have the 2017 champion, Sebastian.
What, Anarevo?
Yeah, I think you won any Rebel Winter or something.
I won any Rebel Winter and I won the most recent one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. But then, yeah, you were there, and then you made a splash on Jared, I guess.
Yeah.
Was he playing Blaze Blue or something, or he just watched you and you're like,
He,
what?
he played Blaze Blue a little bit. I remember he's told me that
Jared Moore.
he was like on the verge of dropping Hazama, but then he like saw me play.
And kind of lit a fire, right?
And then, yeah, and he's like, wow,
And now we have like 2 Hazama players.
yeah.
Now this is just like kind of my take on it, but you could have a lot of Hazama players, but you can also have a lot of bad Hazama players.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean like just because of the nature of the character, it's pretty technical, right?
Yeah, he is. He's like a weird character, so it's pretty easy to like build bad habits and like either get away with things that aren't actually good, or just like not understand why something that you're doing is bad and like not consistent or easily exploitable.
learning the matchups of
that.
light has been great because anytime I go on and fight one of those Hazamas he's describing,
Autopilots.
got used to Hazama's more cheap tools, I guess you could say, and they overuse them, and it's just like, you thought you could get away with this? No.
Yeah.
Do you know who I play with? Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, because like compared to like characters like I don't know, like less simpler one, like I don't know, Ragnar or Mai or Selka, right? Like the game plan is I guess more easily accessible. I guess the floor is a bit lower, right?
Yeah, it's like of course all characters have like gimmicky things and unsafe things that people can kind of rely on or get blown up for if they're playing against a more experienced opponent. But yeah, it's kind of especially true for Hazama. And it's you can get away with doing stuff that isn't good for longer because he's like a convoluted character, pretty difficult to fight against.
Yes.
You can get away with doing a lot of stuff that is like pretty fake if you're not fighting the right opponents.
Of course. Yeah, like also even the pilot, because like I say again, like there's only really like 2 real Hazama players here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
You and Jared, right?
Yeah.
But I remember seeing like times where like I guess like there's been times where you struggled with the character,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
like not to name any Joe, but I mean sometimes I watched that one match, I was like, wow, that looked really rough. Like what, like, and you still haven't dropped the character, right?
Yeah, well, eventually, like when you end up playing high level Blaze Blue against another high level player, it's a really ruthless game.
I see that.
You just have to accept that like matches are going to be really difficult no matter what character you play.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you're playing a top tier character versus a top tier character, like you're still going to get run over half the time when your opponent hits you and executes their game plan properly, and like, you aren't able to defend well enough.
You get stuck between the doll and the boy.
Use your resources well enough.
Yeah, but like it's amazing like you being able to stuck with the character like still after like no counter picking, no none of this, just kind of like stick with your game plan and like tackle things differently, adapt to the situation, right?
Yeah, in the end, I find usually in Blaze Blue the thing that matters most is just being like as strong a player as possible.
That makes sense because like you're I don't know, like, is Platinum bottom tier?
I don't think she's bottom tier, but she's not great.
But like you see Steve beating people up all the time, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not so much the strength of the character because I think from what I see, when you're playing at the highest level, tiers are important, but like the characters itself can also they're capable, right?
Yeah, it's kind of just that like Blaze Blue is such a difficult game that it takes so long to like truly master and internalize everything your character can do at any given time that even if you were to switch to a stronger character, it would take so long to get to a comparable level with them that it's like it's not really worth it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have so much invested time into like
Yeah.
learning this character, but like
You really do kind of get married to your main.
yeah,
Blaze
if
Blue.
you want to play him well anyways,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And that ends up meaning more than picking a stronger character.
I can actually
Even-
do a whole
even
podcast
though-
of that.
Playing a top tier character is very good. And
Yeah,
it does
the
matter
Izanami
at
seems
high
kind of
level.
really good, you know.
Yeah. If you're fighting Izanami or Carl or Rachel
Oh yeah,
at
Rachel.
high level,
Yeah.
like you're gonna suffer.
No matter who you are, right?
You're gonna suffer, but it's not hopeless, but it's always gonna be hard.
Yeah, and that's always the struggle, right?
But that's just the difference between someone who's a strong player playing a strong character, and someone who's a strong player playing a not a strong character.
Of course.
That's just kind of inevitable, but you have to be a strong player first in Blaze Blue, because simply playing a strong character is not enough to carry you.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys agree? No?
Yeah.
Play Susanoo and you'll be fine? No?
Yeah, like Susanoo is really easy, so you'll get results quickly with him. But in the end, he's not like one of the strongest characters. So once you get to like high level play, you'll have the same issues anyway. Like you'll be getting beaten by stronger players,
Yeah.
and you'll be getting beaten by stronger players with stronger characters. So
Yep, no, that makes
in
a
the
lot
end,
of
it doesn't
sense.
matter.
Yeah, there's like those kind of like easy, not noob killer, but they're kind of like
it's
the
easy to get
steamroll.
results with quickly.
Like
yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Like I remember playing 9. I was like, what the heck? I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can steal rounds from people. And then I played you. I'm like, oh, this is not good. This Light clearly knows what he's doing against 9.
You run
Playing
into,
Jhin.
into the,
So-
wall, the wall of knowledge, people who actually understand what to do.
Yeah.
So it becomes that fine mesh sieve where it's like, oh, the rewards aren't stacking up anymore. Why is this happening? Oh, it's because this person knows what they're doing. They know my character. I actually have to get better now.
They know the character better than I do. Like my character better than than what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like a filter. Like you know who's invested, who's not. At that point, I don't know if that's public perception, but like I imagine people just drop at that point. Like, oh, I can't win anymore, or like this sucks.
Some
or,
people do, yeah.
we call those quitters. Not to shame them. We're not shaming quitters. But
I could do a whole podcast episode about stuff like changing your character or quitting and stuff like that.
whoa, this is hitting too close to home, Steve. I do that very often. I'll let you know, but not really. Yeah, it's a conversation for another day. Going back to, I guess, the community, and with the inevitable ending to this in like about a month, which is kind of sad for all of us, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel the community lend itself to like, I don't know, like how was the community here in Vancouver specifically for you? Like, what's it been like? What has the experience been like for you? Good, bad, fun? I don't know.
It's been great. Like,
You live with two Blaze Blue
Even-
players.
yeah, it's kind of bizarre when I think about it. When I was young, like before I even played fighting games,
You're still young.
I had
Well, I know what you
when I
mean.
was younger.
Yeah,
when I was
okay.
younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger, before I even played fighting games, I'd always there was really nothing more I wanted than to just play games I liked with people.
Yeah.
Like from the first time that I played Super Smash Bros, I was like, wow, this is so fun.
She's leaning over.
The rare times when I get to play with like my friends, I
Mhm.
wish I could play games like this with more people.
Mhm.
And that was the same for when I played card games. That was the same for when I got into like other competitive games. I played League of Legends for a while,
Oh yeah.
but again, like League of Legends is one I mostly just played by myself, like solo queuing, rather than.
Now there's an
with
interesting
the team.
dynamic there with MOBA arena games.
Yeah.
Is that you have the element where you could just queue into it, and it's not as social because you're interacting with people that are strangers.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's maybe not as intimate, maybe if you're not
Yeah.
as fighting games, right?
Yeah.
Like you're fighting someone. Usually you're fighting someone you want.
Yeah.
Not all the time here, yeah. But yeah, there's a different dynamic there, and that's like a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you always want to just play games with people that your friends
Exactly,
with,
yeah,
with
and-
people, right?
And I never really had the community to do so with many of the games I played. Like with card games, yeah, because that's like you need that to play card games. of
You
course.
can't play a card game like a physical card game by yourself, right?
But to be honest, like I always preferred video games over card games a little bit, even when it was other genres of video games. So yeah, discovering VSB and going to tournaments and meeting everyone was
Beating people up.
amazing. It was great. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and I'm gonna miss. Well, I mean, you never know what'll happen, right? After this month, right?
Yeah, like the community's not going to disappear.
I hope not.
All the people that we've met and play with, like they're all still around.
There's like Jackson's still around.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah.
still going to be some big tournaments in Vancouver with like Bash and like there's the finals of the CPS season and like maybe some other stuff later on.
Of course. And then, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we hang on to, I guess, to play games. Because if we didn't, we'd go back to Online Warriors, I guess. I don't know. Who knows?
I guess so.
Yeah. And there's still plenty of games coming out, like, soon, like this year, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good.
In February,
Yeah.
you have Grand Blue and then
Uniclear.
Uniclear coming out.
Street Fighter V Championship Edition?
That's true. Yeah. Championship edition.
That is a thing. When, I don't know, you spent a couple time traveling down south.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool people, eh?
Yeah, most of the people I've met, like, it's kind of bizarre. Like when you're involved for long enough online in the fighting game community, you'll get to know a lot of people either through reputation or like watching them play,
Of
or
course.
like sometimes interacting with them, whether it be like in Discord or playing them online. So you kind of like get a feel for the community even before you actually meet a lot of these people. So it's always interesting to meet them in person, and like a lot of people are a bit different in person than what you might imagine. But like,
of course,
you sort of know people.
You feel like you can tell like what someone's like based on how they play.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that.
I think so.
That's not true all the time.
It's not true all the time, but like
You got like somebody like Christian Lim, who's a pretty nice guy, but he's like playing like a guy like Azrael. He's just like, hey, let's play it, and then he's just doing all this like Unga stuff. And I'm like, oh, GG's, dude. Wow, great game. How about a venue sometime?
Well, I mean, I think it tells you something about their character, right?
it definitely you definitely form an opinion on someone if you just play them based on their play style.
There's this there's this time where the BB tag I think beta came out or something.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't just in the lobby looking for people, right? And I just like walked up to this person and I started playing. I'm like, I didn't even look at their name at first, right? I'm like, this person's pretty good. They're making weird decisions. Like this kind of feels like John. Like it really feels like this like stuff he would do. And then I look at the name after, like, wait, that can't be him. I messaged him, John, is that you? He's like, yeah. I thought you knew it was me before. Like I was like, oh. No, it definitely felt like you, right?
It's very funny.
just the feeling of fighting in prison. That's so funny.
And it's like this person is like so optimal. Like what's going on?
I've definitely done that with like somebody's net play though.
Oh really?
Yes, I played some Hazama player and Light knows who it was. I know who it was. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's definitely this guy.
That used to happen to be so much like melee net play. Like I'd play someone's like ult account and like immediately like, oh, it's this guy's stupid.
Did they pick the same character and same color or something? Or?
No, just like you can tell by their playstyle.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of like you have an idea of what their playstyle is, and maybe it gives away to who they are.
It's always entertaining when you can figure out who someone is just by seeing them play or playing against them.
Yeah, like you're watching a stream and like no names. Like, wait, is that Light? Yeah, of course it's Light. Like I see that. You know, those moves. That's the interesting part about video games or fighting games in general. I think it's like, anyways, like, well, that's the thing. It's like with more modern ones, I think it does give you room to kind of express your own style. I don't know. Do you feel the same with like newer video games, newer fighting games, anyways?
Newer fighting games? Not as much actually.
Okay.
But only for like the absolute newest fighting games. But like it kind of makes sense because the way that those fighting games are developed is to try and be like more
accessible,
massively appealing. So usually that involves like simplifying some things, having a like easier to grasp play style in general. So it can be a little harder to like individualize yourself when you're playing games like that. Not that those games don't have depth, but it can be difficult to express it in some of the games.
Okay.
It might be a bit harder to see that if you're just watching a game and trying to figure out who's actually playing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like
that's how I feel, at least.
I mean, like, I certainly see like with less tools or less options, you can only have so many ways, like so many permutations to execute a game plan, and if there is a game plan at all, right?
Yeah.
Whether you follow through on it or not. I guess we can move on because in closing here, because we're running out of battery. Well, not really, but games you like right now. Melty Blood.
Melty Blood, yeah. Melty Blood's sick.
Yeah.
So it's.
What is sick? Like the character you play, Walkia.
Warakia.
Yeah. Waracha.
But not just that. So Melty Blood's kind of interesting. It's such an old game. Like a very old game. Like what? I don't even know when the first Melty Blood came out. But
it's beyond me.
I know the current version's been out for like 9 years.
that says something, years. Dude. Yeah.
Never mind all the previous versions.
You just find it really fun?
Yeah. I think the reason I find it so fun is that like with all the new games coming out that like are a bit simpler and more like, you know, easy to get into, streamlined, every, you know, less options, less, you know, weird random things, more tools, more easily accessible knowledge. It's I'm being kind of starved to play a game that's like a bit more, you know, grimy. Grimy.
Oh, the grime comes out
like,
now. The
just
truth comes out.
Difficult. I miss that kind of thing from the days when I was learning Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear a bit, and games like that.
There's many dimensions to explore, right?
Yeah. So it's been really fun playing a game that has like so much history and so much depth. That's Multi-Blood.
Now, on one hand, you have Multi-Blood, but on the other hand, you have Koihime.
Yeah. So that's another interesting point. So Koihime is like absolutely on the other end of the spectrum, where you have like the most minimal of options, and the things that you enjoy about it are probably like the complete opposite of Multi-Blood. You enjoy like getting small incremental gain from smart decision making.
Oh, interesting.
Good risk reward on reads, reactions on like whiff punishing, spacing, anti-airs, all that kind of stuff. And I'd say it probably took me a while to appreciate that aspect of fighting games more.
Definitely.
Because when I first got into fighting games, like the couple times before I got into Blaze Blue that I dabbled in games like Street Fighter or like Tekken, I didn't like them at all. Like I thought they were stiff, like kind of boring to play. I played Smash Bros. Quite a bit, and I loved the like freedom of movement in that game. And Street Fighter and Tekken always felt like so stiff and like
not as mobile,
difficult to do anything. You couldn't move around. Like I don't like it at all. So that was probably one of the reasons why I liked Blaze Blue so much when I started it, because it was pretty free flowing, lots of movement. Got double jump, air dash.
moving all over the screen.
Good dashing, like character specific movement. There's lots to it, and it felt fun to learn, fun to play. But eventually, once I actually learned fighting games, and learn the mechanics behind them, learn mind games behind them, what constitutes someone being actually good at fighting games.
Yeah.
I started to appreciate the more basic forms of fighting games, like Street Fighter and Koihime too.
Yeah, like the more nuanced points, right?
Yeah. I did try Street Fighter 5 for a while when it came out. But I have some gripes with that. But in the end, I just feel that like Koihime kind of hits the same points that I like about Street Fighter, while the specifics of it are just, I think they're just much better.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting like built game. Like
Yeah.
it has a kind of like traditional fundamental style,
Exactly.
basis.
There's a kind of unique form of satisfaction from outplaying somebody in a really basic game.
Like getting those counter hits.
Yeah, when you're just when you're just winning because you're making like smarter, better decisions than your opponent, and you have solid reactions, and you just win because of it. In anime games, there's like so many options. The game's often so fast paced that you can kind of just win games by overwhelming your opponent.
Yeah.
Or just like quickly reacting to various situations and being on top of them or having more experience than your opponent. And that's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like obviously I love Blaze Blue and I like Multi-Blood a lot too. So like those are the kind of games that I like, and those are the kind of games that I've played.
That you're still playing, yeah.
Like the majority of fighting games I've played have been like that. But I do appreciate just the more like slower base fundamental side of fighting games as well.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Because, like, yeah, I mean, I find with, like, I guess, like, with Arxis games or, like, French Bread or whatever, they give you that, a lot of freedom, right? Like, there are many options.
Yeah.
You can do many things. It's very enabling as opposed to, like, the grounded game.
Yeah.
Which, again, like, it's not bad. Like, it isn't. It's just a different, pacing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
The nuances. Okay, so I guess in closing here, we'll wrap it up soon. Is there anything you're looking forward to in 2020?
2020?
Guilty Gear 2020?
Well, definitely new games. Like I've been starved for a new fighting game, for a new single player fighting game, not a tag fighter.
Single?
or
one-on-one.
team fighter.
Samurai Showdown did not hit the scratch, or not scratch the itch.
Nah, I tried it a little bit, but it's Yeah.
You can only assume I'm a guy and she's so many people.
It's not really something I want to put time into.
Mm.
And I couldn't really get into Dragon Ball or BB Tag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did give them a pretty good try.
I think so. I think you did.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we got a new version of Eunice coming out.
Yeah.
And Grand Blue. Looking forward to trying both of those.
Hopefully they're good.
Yeah, hopefully they're good. Hope for the best.
Yeah. In 2020s and later in the year. I don't know if you're into the Guilty Gear, but...
I don't know. I'll have to kind of see how I feel when it comes out.
Of course.
Right now, I'm not too interested in it, but we'll see.
It's so
I
far
might
from
be.
now, right?
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
I want to discount it yet.
Okay, good stuff. All right, thanks a lot, Light. I think we'll probably do more of these down the line as soon as more like controversial points of contention come up. We'll see how things change, right? Maybe if there's some optimism towards games. Maybe those games end up being terrible. I don't know.
Maybe they do. You never know.
Maybe somehow Uniclear ends up being going the complete opposite direction. Grand Blue ends up being bad. I have no idea.
It's certainly possible.
But yeah, we'll definitely check in because you live so close now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we can just pump out content for
Absolutely, yeah.
Content.
yeah, Yo content. Of course, yeah. I don't know. With this podcast, for me, it's just a way to practice speaking because I feel like I can articulate better if I just slow down as opposed to just getting tongue-tied.
Yeah.
For me, anyways. But for you, you are free to use this episode here to do whatever you want. You can share it with people. You can not share it. I'm gonna share it with people. It's on YouTube, right? For people to see. So if you've said anything incriminating that you want to, let out, then let me know. I will not edit it.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Light.
My pleasure.